Alright, they got it on there. Got a Fishhook on an old 2000 F250. Nice iconic truck right there. I've had a few of them over the years, and I've always had a really big soft spot for them. Just a tough old truck. This one's a 7.3. So yeah, the guy wants to keep it for a while. So let's jump in here and chat about why he's got the Fishhook on this one in particular. Kind of why he went the way he went, and kind of talk about tying it down and payloads and all that fun stuff that seems to be missing out there when it comes to getting a camper and truck set up, a truck and camper set up. So let's just chat about it really quick. This won't be a real long video. I don't need to walk through the whole thing. You guys have seen plenty of Fishhook videos and stuff like that, so you can run over to the channel and watch those. But yeah, let's talk about the weight of the camper and all that fun stuff. So before we jump in, for those of you who do not know, we're building these things here in Palmer, Alaska. And this is year number 55. Let's go look at the sticker. Year number 55, manufacturing here in Palmer, Alaska. So we've learned a little bit of stuff over that time frame, and we packed a lot of that into our Fishhook here. So that's a 1,500 pound camper right there, and it is designed to fit on 1500s, but the reality is at 1500 to 1600 pounds, by the time you start putting upgrades and everything in, you should be in a 2500 with almost any truck camper. Yes, I know we've built many 1500 or truck campers for 1500 pickups, but the truth is you should have margin while you're driving down the road. You shouldn't be right on the line, and I say that as somebody who has got an F-150 and I run a Fishhook on it. So a little bit of user experience there, but also official experience and guidance. It's best to go on a 2500, even if it's an oldie like this one. So let's talk about that payload of this truck. This one, I actually couldn't find the payload anywhere on the door at all, which is typically where it's at. And I remember one of my trucks like this one had the payload sticker there, and then another one had it over here, and I just don't see it on here. But I remember I had a 2004 F250. It was a short bed, and that one was the 6.0, and it had a 1,700 pound payload. Then I had a F350, and I don't remember looking at the payload of that, but that one was a 99 or a 2000, so basically like this one, and it had a higher payload. Then I've had 05 and 05 Cummins and all of that, and they had lower payloads than what my F-150 says it has. However, I'm telling you, hands down, they handled the camper better than my F-150, even though my F-150 says it has a 1,900 pound payload basically on the door. It's like 1840 something. It says it has a 1,900 pound payload basically, but it is still way softer than these pickup trucks. So you can see about how that thing's sitting on there right there. Truck's sitting pretty level. This is a slope, it rises up. There's probably about from there up to there about a 2-foot rise in the parking lot. So that truck there is sitting level, and it's actually kind of slanting forward a little bit. So it sits on the camper pretty good. That's all great and everything. But, well, the camper sits on it pretty good. You can see where the leaf springs are. I don't know that I would put any suspension help on this, although he could if he wanted to, if he's towing the boat and everything. You can pop stable loads down in there. You can do the upper blocks or the lower blocks. But this one's kind of interesting because he had a cab over canopy on that truck from us for a long time. One that we built back in the early 2000s, I believe. It was either late 90s or early 2000s, somewhere in there. And maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it was too early to late 2000s. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It's been sitting on here, and he is ready for a change. He was ready to have a camper that he could pop on and off the truck frequently. It was nice and light like this. The weight sits down low in a good spot, so he can still do his towing. And he's also thinking about replacing that truck because he's had it for a long time, and it might be time to replace it soon. So going to a truck camper that can get popped on and off is kind of more attractive to him right now. And that's how it is for me too. like being able to put a fish hook on a 2500 one day, a long bed the next day, a 1500 the next day. So the camper here, speaking of that, the upgrades he had us do, so you can see he didn't have us do a electric jacks at all. He has got the Starlink up here. He works from home and remote and all of that. He's a realtor, so he can be all over the place with his job. He had us do the stove here and the sink, and that's pretty much it, guys. Nothing else. He did not have us do an inverter, and you guys can go in there and you can do all kinds of walkthrough videos of the fish hook here. But oh, that's what he did. He had us do the bunk. This is something I haven't done a video on this on the channel yet. I think I did a little short Facebook video, but this is something that I should go ahead and do a, let's do that right now. I'll go ahead and show you the bunk on here really quick. But anyway, so you can see the upgrades. We'll finish talking about this and then we'll go back in there and I'll show you the bunk. Almost falling off the tailgate. Anyway, it's kind of nice to have a platform back here when you're, you know, that is a benefit when you're out here camping and everything. The only problem is that door catch. It's kind of hard to do because you got the tailgate and everything here. So there's pros and cons. But here's how this thing is tied down. You can see it's still tied down inside the bed here. And then over here, this is how it ties down in the front. Right there. That goes down to the factory tie down in the far corner. And then you have got the 2x6s up here on the front wall. And that's to set it back because we flare the back of these fish hooks out right here. We do a flare out, and that really helps on space because it allows us to put the furnace there, and then it allows you to put a portable toilet on this side. But what it does is it makes it to where that flare out ends up hitting the wheel wells back in here. Hopefully you can see that. Having a phone camera doesn't necessarily mean you always have a nice camera that is going to adjust really easy. There we go. You can see how it gets close to the wheel wells. But you can do that with this light of a setup. That camper is 1,540 pounds plus those minor upgrades there. So he's maybe sitting at 1,580 here, possibly 1,600 pounds. So the camper is light. It's light enough to throw on that 1,500 and all of that, but it's also still light enough for that tie down system. Lots of these end up getting the traditional tie down system where you come in here and you have your mounts here and you go down to your torque lift on the bottom. But there you go, guys. That's why he's got this on the old F250, is because he's looking at replacing his setup a little bit spread out rather than one big bolt come out at a time. And it was time to replace his cab over canopy anyway. Let's go in there and look at that bunk really quick. I know that's a little bit of a side trail, and I said it was going to be a short video, but let's do this really quick. So, for the bunk, we have been getting a ton of requests to get it to where it can sleep 4 adults really comfortably. Right now, many of you guys know this is a true queen size mattress, so it's 80 inches long by 60 inches deep, right? True queen. Then right here, this is basically a twin. It's 42 inches on this side and it's 33 inches on this side. And then it deploys out to 75 inches, which is 6'3". So it's actually a pretty large bed right there. Very comfortable for you know, an average size adult. Pretty comfortable. But then right here, you know, we needed to be able to put this bunk on any one of the fish hooks that's currently out on the road. And also have it very functional and easy. So it sits right here. Your cooler sits here, your refrigerator, whatever it's going to be, all your gear sits here. And then the bunk comes in, and these little simple ridges right here, those are always there. You get those installed, and then you can see this little hole in the backrest, and then you can see this little block here. So up in here, you just throw this little post right there. Pop that in there. Boom. Had to close that door. Then up underneath here, you have 2 different panels, right? those sit there just like that, and then you have these little plastic strips that sit in here, or plywood strips, and it keeps that thing from moving and sliding around. Then you can put moisture matting in between it. That way it works with your moisture matting. Okay, so then you just pick this thing up. I'm going to try and do all this one-handed while holding this camera. This thing slides out just like so. I'm going to use 2 hands for this really quick. That sets like that. Slip it in over here in the corner. It fits nice and tight. Then that goes there. Then down underneath here, that just fits right into this little post. Just like that. Hopefully you can see that good. Okay, easy. Very solid. You can sit on this thing. Incredibly solid. Then you just grab this. Again, one-handed. Pick that sucker up. Slide it out. And if I can do this one-handed, edit that part out. Everybody else can as well. There. Okay. You got it. That just sits there. Hopefully that was an easy demonstration. But then, guys, that is a nice big bed. It's 82 inches long. Technically only 80 inches, actually, if you take into account this backrest. But there you go. Not bad. Pretty easy. Then if you need to get into the cooler, right here, just lift that sucker up and you can still get into your cooler. Not bad at all. Tell somebody, get your legs out of the way. I'm getting another drink. Not bad. It needs to be cleaned off. But there you go, guys. There's the bunk. So with this, and I would not drive around, now that I'm thinking about it, I know a question's going to come up. Can you drive around with that deployed? Probably not with this panel. But with this panel, absolutely. That's not going to go anywhere. This one, maybe we should do something about that. But anyway, there you go, guys. Nice big bunk. It's 28 inches wide as a, to put it in perspective, more than enough to get up here and sleep. And yes, we rate that at 300 pounds. So plenty strong enough. And then somebody can just get under here, and that's fun for the kids. Because once you deploy this out into a bed, the table up here, grab that. There, it goes there. And this comes out. Again, for those of you who have watched plenty of Fishhook videos, you know all this stuff. You don't need to be shown, but I'm still showing you anyway. And then this comes off. Nothing's cool and flashy here. This is all what you might call raw content. There you go. If I can do all that one-handed while on the phone, yeah, I had a mishap here, but do that all one-handed while on the phone. You guys can set that up real quick. Come in, set up your bed, go to bed. There you go. Nice and big. And again, 75 inches right there. 42, 32, or 33. I'd have to tape it again. I don't have my tape on me. Very cool. And then, no, we do not put a mat here. You would need to throw out your little roll-up mat or something, because that just becomes too much foam, too many cushions hanging out inside the camper. All right, guys, there you go. That is a I guess bonus extra information for the Fishhook on a 2000 F350 oldie but goodie. And this is a stick too. It's a manual transmission, so not bad. That truck should be on the road for a minute or 3. All right, guys, catch you on the next one.